Welcome back to episode 25 of the Watch Up Sports podcast. We are your Watch Up Sports hosts,
Patrick Quinn,
Ortiz,
and I'm Bobby Hanscom. Today is Monday, July 15th as we're recording, so here's what we'll be talking about today.
We're going to touch upon both the Euro and Copa America finals that happened over the weekend. We'll talk in depth about each game and the awards that were handed out after.
Tuesday's MLB All-Star game between the American League and the National League, along with our picks to win, best bets for the game, and MVP predictions.
Also, like always, some random news in the sports world.
And we'll finish up the show with Washed Up Wagers, where we will recap our picks from last weekend, and we will make our picks for this week's slate.
The summer of soccer has officially come to an end. The Spanish are our 2024 European champions after a 2-1 victory over England. Spain's fourth Euro title and third this century, now is all-time, beating Germany that was tied with 3. The last one in 2012. After a scoreless first half, Spain came out in the front foot early in the second half. 17-year-old Lamine Yamal set up Nico Williams, who's 22, for the game's opener just 1 minute into the second half. England made a couple of changes, inserting ice-cold Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins for Harry Kane. The three lions responded with a beautiful finish, first-time finish with the left foot curling to the outside post.
That was a great counterattack.
It was a great counterattack. In the 73rd minute, Jude Bellingham, like we said, laid it off to Cole Palmer for the first-time finish into the bottom corner to tie the game at 1-1. England, as they always do, sat back, allowed Spain to pressure, till finally, with 10 minutes left, Mark Cucurella sent a ball in for Mike Oyarzabal, who scored the game winner. Oyarzabal, who scored the game winner in the 86th minute. England did have a chance, though, off a corner kick. The first header was saved by Unai Simon. Rebound then to Declan Rice, who then had it cleared off the line by none other than Danny Olmo. Now, Bobby, this is where you, not a big soccer guy, you have questions for us here.
Yes, I do.
Wait, before you actually say something, there's this stat that I found. Since May 2001, Spanish teams have played in 27 major finals, including the Champions League, Europa League, World Cup, and Euros, excluding the Copa America, obviously. But there's been a Spanish winner in all those 27 finals.
Yeah, they haven't lost in the final.
That's insane. So obviously I know some of us had England winning this game, some of us had Spain. Did this game live up to the expectations?
Expectations? No. I mean, you looked at, if you followed the tournament, Spain was by far the best team in my opinion. There's no question about that. They didn't lose a game. I don't even know if they trailed in a game. So yeah, Spain.
They trailed to Georgia.
Yeah, they
did. briefly, right?
1-0.
Yeah, but Spain was by far the best team in the game, and it's just, I hate the way England plays. So much firepower going forward, and then they just continue to sit. Very boring. I don't think they scored more than 2 goals in a game this tournament. It was very staggered, wasn't exciting, and I think ultimately Spain was the right team that deserved to lift the trophy in the end.
I mean, in my opinion, my expectations were that Spain was going to control the game and control the tempo, just give it all against England, and I felt like that lived up to my expectations. I had them winning, but yeah, Spain definitely did not drop a single game. Like they just stayed consistent, got even better as the tournament went on.
Now, I got a question for Lou and for you, Zach, obviously. Does this show, is Harry Kane past his prime with the English national team? That the fact that in win-or-go-home scenarios, 2 times he's been subbed off in about the 65th to 70th minute for Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney. You know what I mean? Brought in Ollie Watkins against the Netherlands, scored the death to win that game. Then in the final, you take him out at like the 70th minute or so when they're trailing. 60th minute when they were trailing to bring on Ollie Watkins. So yeah. It's like,
you want to answer that one?
I mean, the way I kind of look at it, it kind of gives them a reason to kind of start looking away from Harry Kane. You know, with that Ollie Watkins goal, I mean, he's definitely gonna get a call up again. Probably gonna play in the World Cup. What would you say, Zach?
I still think he's good. Like, it's hard to judge Harry Kane on that when so many other England players didn't do anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
Foden didn't do anything. Saka didn't really do anything. I saw a stat where it was like Cole Palmer in 3 appearances off the bench had a goal and an assist, and then Foden and Saka combined in 7 starts had 1 goal
0
between the 2 of them. So it's like, I don't know. And also, Southgate tried to build a team around Harry Kane, but like Harry Kane needs like a runner to run in behind, whereas Jude and Foden are like attacking mids. They don't really do that. So I feel like if they put Ollie Watkins and Kane together, it would have helped because Watkins can get it behind, but
Kane's a good passer. He's a great
well,
passer.
we saw it with Tottenham. He had Son, so like that's his strength, and they just didn't play together.
The fact that he didn't use any wingers, or like he tried to, I guess, but your Saka's not going to beat you in behind with pace typically. He likes the ball to his feet. Foden's not going to strike you for pace. Jude Bellingham's not going to strike you for pace. So it's when Harry Kane had none of those runners to play in behind, or for the defenders to drop off of him and give him that space that he loves to be in. I mean, it's just not an exciting brand of football. And we talk about like leaving the Marcus Rashfords off the team or the Sanchos off the team who can get in behind and create that little bit more space. Or like we said, putting Ollie Watkins in, putting him on the left or right side to then stretch it and then give that space for Harry Kane. But he was set in a system of either a 3-back or a 5-back, 2 holding mids, which you don't need, and then 3 up top to kind of just do whatever they want and float around. But it was just very boring. But England again, another Euro final they made it to, and another loss. So this is becoming a pattern.
Yeah, so with England's substitutions proving to pay off again, Cole Palmer scoring the game-tying goal. 1, do you think Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins should have been starting? And 2, do you blame this loss on England manager Gareth Southgate?
I feel like we kind of just already answered that. I feel like we would have preferred Kane and Ollie Watkins together.
But what about
Palmer?
I think he deserved to at 100%. I mean, in these tournaments, you have to play the players that are playing their best, not the players that you picked and you thought were going to be in the squad. You know, it took Ivan Toney coming in when Ivan Toney hasn't been playing for 2 minutes to deliver an assist header to Harry Kane in the extra time, and then it took Ollie Watkins coming in to score the winner here, and Cole Palmer coming in to tie the game. So it's like you gotta change it up, you gotta mix it up. The players that are in form are the players that deserve to play the game, in my opinion. And Saka, Foden, even Harry Kane, Declan Rice, I think had a shocking tournament, to be completely honest.
I think I saw a lot of pass backs from him. I feel like he was not. He was just looking at the picture the entire time.
So it's. And then the second question about, like, do I blame it on Gareth Southgate? It's like, at some point, the players have to get the job done, in my opinion. You know, he can't be on the field. He can put them in the system they want to play, but at the end of the day, you made it to 2 European championships in the last 2, and you've lost both of them. At some point, where is the criticism for the players for not getting the job done?
His changes worked.
They did.
He just called them all out.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing, too, is, do you guys watch the game?
Yeah.
Like, after England scored, like, they looked pretty good.
They did
and
look
then
really
they sat
good.
back again, so I don't know what that was about. But, like, I think Landon Donovan said on the broadcast, like, when England was down 1-0 in the second half, started to press. He was like, why don't they just do this the whole game? They're pressing, they win the ball back right away, and then they go down and get, like, a shot or a chance.
If you look at the round of 8, trailing. Semifinal, trailing. Final, trailing. Eventually, you can't win every single game when you start to trail. Like, at a point in time, you have to be out on the front foot.
Yeah. So to add on what you just said, obviously England tied or took the lead in the 80th minute or later in their 3 knockout games before the final, and then they tied it in the 73rd minute in the final.
You can't take 75 minutes to get into a game.
Yeah.
You know.
Good point.
Spain's Rodri won the best player of the tournament. Is this deserving?
I mean, I called it, but I think what we mentioned before too, it's like there were so many good players at this tournament that, especially on Spain, that it really could have gone to anyone. Like, you could have given it to Rodri, you could have given it to Olmo. Lamine Yamal could have definitely had a chance getting that too.
Yeah, I think the fact that he won Young Player of the tournament as well would be very, very rare for you see somebody to win Young Player and then Player of the tournament. But I mean, Rodri doesn't go out and do crazy things. I think he had one goal that he scored the entire tournament, but he just does everything right. He's always there. You can rely on him, either if it's club or country. He's one of the top, if not the top, holding midfielders in the world. But I would have liked to see maybe Danny Olmo came on for Pedri and has been absolutely outstanding after Pedri got hurt. And then even Williams on the wing,
yeah.
Nico Williams was fantastic. So I think they made a safe pick with it, but it wasn't like, this player blew me away this tournament.
And he also got subbed off at halftime.
Yes, and he was injured.
That's
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Pat, speaking on you saying Lamine Yamal won the youngest, best young player of the tournament. Jesus, can't even speak. He was the youngest player ever to play in the Euros game, as well as score and assist at the Euros. Also had 4 assists in the tournament, ties the most all time at a single Euro. Became the first player ever to score or assist in the quarters, semis, and finals at a single Euro, and led the tournament with 19 chances created.
You can also add now the youngest Euros champion.
He just turned 17 like 2 days ago.
It was the day before the final.
Yeah.
It was a truly dominant run for Spain. They broke most single Euro records with 15 goals at the tournament and won all 7 matches, which has never been done before. Their manager, Luis de la Fuente, has now won the U19 Euros, the U21 Euros, and now the 2023 UEFA National League, Nations League, and the 2024 Euros as a coach. Is Spain the next golden generation?
Too early to tell, but
I don't.
Spain's always been up there, and now they're really young. They're very young if you really look at them. So they've been trying to rebuild the last time they won the Euro. Yeah, because that was their last major tournament or major championship. But yeah, no, I feel like this could be an opportunity for like a great team. We'll see, in the World Cup.
They have to address the young studs that they have are fantastic, right? Pedri, Gavi, he wasn't even in the tournament because he wasn't fit. Up front, they're brilliant, but then Danny Carvajal's aging, Emerick Laporte's aging,
Nacho's still there.
Nacho aging, Cucurella, don't know, he doesn't even get club time with Chelsea sometimes. He came in, he did fantastic, so it's just something about Spain knows how to win games, but it's when you compare this Spanish team to the last time they were that generation when they went 2008, 2010, 2012.
Yeah.
The team that they had then with the Piqué, the Puyols, the Iniesta, Xavi Alonso,
the greatest midfield of all time.
So those Iker Casillas, that team. It's just the compare them to this now. I mean, it's always
early.
It is too early.
It is too early.
But it's a very if you're a Spanish fan or you are from Spain, it's very promising, 100%. But I will say quickly, I did see Luis de la Fuente got reached out by the United States Soccer Organization.
Really?
Yeah. Talk about that later, but he reached out to them, I believe.
Yeah, his camp did or something like that. Yeah.
The Golden Boot Award, which is given to the top goal scorer in the tournament, was shared among 6 players who were tied for first, all with 3 goals. Spain's Danny Olmo, England's Harry Kane, Netherlands' Cody Gakpo, Germany's Jamal Musiala, Georgia's, how do you say his last name? Mikitadze, and Slovakia's Ivan Šranc. I think that's how you say his last name. 3 goals is the lowest total for a Golden Boot winner since 2012. Ties the previous record with whoever had the most assists or whoever had the fewest minutes.
It's crazy. That's the last time Spain won it, so.
England has not won a major tournament since 1966. England is the first ever team to lose back-to-back Euro finals, and Harry Kane does not have a team trophy.
Hashtag Kane curse.
You mean the Audi preseason cup doesn't count?
Also, like we said last week, you can't bring it home if it's never been home.
Yeah, right.
Well, it has been home, but 1966.
Yeah, but
this was the first time England made it to a final outside of their country too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now let's turn over to the Copa America, where I am beside myself. Yeah. Very, very heart-wrenching game. Honestly, though, I loved every second of it. I had a great time watching it. I'm prepared to what we'll do in the World Cup. But anyways, we had Colombia versus Argentina in the Copa America final. Game started over an hour. I think it was an hour 15 delay, I believe.
Hour 22.
Hour 22.
Start at 8.
Started
Start at 9:30.
Yeah.
They said it was going to start at 9:15, and then they did the anthems at 9:15, and then kickoff was like 9.
It was like 8, and then delayed to 8:30, and then delayed to 9:15, and then fans were actually trying to get into the Hard Rock Stadium without any tickets.
Those videos.
There was a lot of videos of stampedes of just fans just blowing through a bunch of barricades, a bunch of like escalators were broken.
Mm-hmm.
They were climbing over walls, going into vents shafts.
That was the one I was. The
ventilator.
ventilation shaft thing was insane, bro.
Right before like kickoff, they already like knew that the crowd was like well over capacity, and so that's why they had to delay it and kind of get sorted out. But reports said that 7,000 fans without tickets got into the game. So imagine, and I know the cheapest ticket, nosebleed, with a tissue is like $2,200.
Yeah.
So imagine
With
that.
a tissue.
Like, it's crazy.
But you also had the free Shakira concert.
That is true, dude.
Did you see
Her hips still don't lie. I'll tell you that.
Her nothing lies.
But I don't know. That draws a bigger concern though. Like what's going to happen in 2 years?
That's what I was gonna. Yeah.
You know.
But I was hearing a lot of reports on social media, and it was like people were saying what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But CONMEBOL reportedly like denied help from the USA. So, like, any
they wanted to do
security,
it completely on their own.
It was all like organized by CONMEBOL, so it wasn't on US because the people were saying like, dude, we have Super Bowls at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. We have big concerts, Taylor Swift concerts there all the time. Nothing like this happens. It was strictly on CONMEBOL's poor organization of the security.
Wow.
So pretty crazy.
That is, yeah, because that was like my biggest. It was like, what's going to happen in 2 years when the entire world is in our country at all these stadiums if we can't prevent it for one game?
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, after a devastating 1-0 loss, Argentina actually lifted up their now record-setting 16th Copa America trophy. They won in extra time. It was scored by Arturo Martinez, the Golden Boot winner, in the 112th minute. I don't know how we broke down, man. But game was scoreless, 0-0 after 90 minutes. No shortage of scoring chances and saves from both sides. There was a lot of opportunities on both ends. I don't know if you guys watched the video, but Messi got hurt.
Yeah,
It was bad.
And it was...
The video of his ankle that went up to his face, his ankle was like this big.
Yeah, no. If you watched, they had a slow-mo of the play. And
I thought it was his hamstring.
No.
The second
People thought it was like the leg that like Arias kicked kind of like, when he was
it was
kicking.
his right. It was when it planted, and then I think when he
It just
sprinted
bent
the second
inward.
time, he re-aggravated it, and he was like, "I'm done." But I was gonna say the people you could tell the center backs for Colombia were so tired because David Sanchez, how the goal happened, he stepped into Paredes and never got close enough to like do anything to it, and then Lautaro took the space.
Yep.
So Sanchez if he's got to go, he's got to make sure the pass can get off, or he just stays where he is. And he was just so gassed. I mean, that game was unbelievably physical, back and forth.
If you really like look at it too, this game was coming down to either like a great chance, like an unbelievable play, or a mistake.
Somebody's just tired and exhausted. I will say though, that ball should have been saved as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper's positioning.
He kissed the ball.
He fell backwards, and
kissed the ball.
As a goalkeeper, when you're like this, anytime the ball's going to hit you, it's going to ride the momentum of the angle of your body and keep going into the goal. He's got to keep his chest and his shoulders going that way. So if it does hit him, it goes back that way. Like, he was off balance. I know the pitch was also major concern. Everyone was slipping everywhere, but you got to keep your shoulders and your head forward.
That second half.
That was just disappointing because two mistakes right Colombia. The center back stepping when he shouldn't because the left back was too wide, and then the goalkeeper. That's your moment right there. That's your glory moment. Make the big save to keep your team in the game. Be the hero, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we know that it was Di Maria's last. It was his last international game played. He left in the 117th minute to a standing ovation. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, I was going to say his kids were the ones that brought the ball out to start the game, and it's a very cool moment. The fact that Messi and him weren't there to finish the game was pretty crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Messi, Di Maria, and
Otamendi
all wore the armband at some point during the
Yeah.
game. That was pretty wild too.
Yeah.
The old Messi called it the old guard the other day.
Yeah.
Louis, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wasn't Quintero on the field any earlier? That guy's gross.
Oh, that's
Dude,
touch.
I did not. I don't think he played. I think he hasn't played in the knockout stages.
Why?
I think he played one game. I think he might have.
Nasty.
Bro,
He's good.
That touch when it came in, and just dinked it, and it went around, and he was gone, bro.
I was like, it's over.
Literally gross.
He's like, he's really old though. He's like a vet. He's
I
like
will-
30. He's
I
like
will
in
say,
his mid-30s.
when I knew Colombia was gonna start to be in trouble was not the James one, because I thought James honestly did not play well that game at all.
Mhm.
Very weak, lazy.
He wasn't
with
looking
his,
for so many
lazy with his
chances,
passes. Was
yeah.
trying to do too much. But it was the taking off the Luis Diaz and making those subs, because even the commentators were like, Luis Diaz has a bad penalty kick record, and it's like, you can't play for penalty kicks right here. You got to leave the best player on the field to make something magical happen. And once they took him off, and they bring in these guys, they have energy, but they don't have the quality that's needed in these moments. And I'm like, they're trying to play for pens, because you can't take out somebody like that in an important game like that in any circumstance unless he's injured.
They also subbed up
Rios.
Arias.
And
Richard Rios, but also John Arias, who I thought was like all over the field.
The right back?
Yeah.
No, the striker.
11.
He's the one that hit the post right in the beginning of the game.
Well, he plays in midfield.
No, that was Cordova.
Oh, okay.
He
John
plays in the
Arias
mid.
is number 11.
He plays
He's
next
kinda
to the Lima guy.
Lerma.
Lerma. They
It's
play.
him, Lerma.
Lerma had a couple nice shots.
Yeah, that's a good save by Emi.
I know we were all pulling for Colombia for our boy Lou here, but what do we think about the game as well as the scenes outside of the stadium?
I think we already talked about the scenes of the stadium, and I mean, these fans are passionate about the country they're from and the country they love and the sport they love to watch. So I mean,
I've been to a couple games in Colombia, and they're crazy. Like on the out, like when we tie, it's crazy. It's insane.
obviously there's no place for it. Obviously, the players don't want to have the game delayed. The people that actually bought tickets not getting allowed into the game but I think it was more important to talk about the game itself. And I thought the first 25 minutes, Colombia were beautiful. They were attacking, they were energized, and it was like off a half an inch inside, that's a goal, and Colombia's right where they need to be. They created a lot of good chances. Like you said, Emi Martinez made that really good save, and I think they ran out of gas. Like
Both teams are exhausted.
they were like a 15-year-old boy having sex for the first time. Like, they went as hard as they could for the first 10 minutes, and then after that, they had nothing left in the tank, and then Argentina just took their time, put their foot on the ball. I thought especially once they brought in Lo Celso and Paredes into that midfield, it really just changed up what they needed to do. They brought on the fresh leg. Like, that's the difference, in my opinion, between Colombia and Argentina is you take off James, you take off Luis Diaz, you don't bring in the likes of the Lautaro Martinez.
I'll take Quintero with James in the midfield together.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's when you bring those on in the 80th, 85th minute, and you have that quality on the bench to bring in, like, they completely changed the game. Colombia was lucky enough to get to extra time, and then in extra time they didn't even sniff the ball just because you had that quality come in from Argentina. And I think that was the biggest difference.
There was a lot about, I feel like, also the fitness. I don't think Colombia played an extra time game at all.
No.
Everyone who went to even penalties during the knockout stages, this is their first extra time, so they were definitely had the heavy legs. But I kind of said, I remember I said semifinals for Colombia. This was like a good tournament for us.
Yeah.
It helps us prepare. Let alone now they changed my perspective, and like, I thought these motherfuckers were going to demolish Argentina. Like, I thought they were going to win it. Now, like, throughout, like, how they played throughout the entire tournament, like, It was just kind of, they felt unstoppable. But now we look at the World Cup qualifiers. So I come out with, even though we lost, I come out kind of feeling positive about this team. So
I feel like you have to be 100% because I think when we looked at it at the beginning, Colombia was like the 4th or 5th favorite to win it. It was like Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Colombia, USA were like right next to each other. So as a Colombian fan, you have to be, because for a while, Colombia hasn't been in the limelight in the World Cup or in Copa America. Like the last time you're obviously a Colombian fan, but like the last time Colombia was super, super relevant was the James World Cup in 2014, I feel like,
After 2018, we did nothing. Really.
And then the last Copas have been Argentina, Chile, or Argentina, Brazil. Like this for Colombia, it sucks that they lost, but as a fan, you have to be very, very excited because like they're a young team as well.
Yeah.
Also, just came out when I was on my way over. So the president of Colombian Federation and his son got arrested as part of that pre-game skirmish.
Oh, so really?
Oh,
so he was like instigating it?
I don't know. It said
maybe he just tried. Maybe there was a lot of people who had tickets, saw people go in and try to go into it, but get arrested.
It said Colombia Federation president and son among 27 people arrested at Copa America final.
That's crazy.
That's wild. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're gonna arrest me? I'm just gonna walk in right now," and then they arrested him.
Lo, as you said, Messi got hurt, but he was a non-factor in this game, nor was really a huge factor in the tournament. Do you guys still think that Argentina still needs Messi?
I think Messi doesn't need Argentina anymore. I felt like this was kind of his last go around. It seemed like it. Like we said, I think we mentioned like he didn't want to say anything because Di Maria's last game, him, Di Maria, Otamendi, all 3 vets wearing the armband, winning a cup. Like there's no other way to kind of like ride into the sunset.
I think you look at the projection of how this Argentinian national team has gone. They got to the finals because of Messi. When they lost to when they lost 3 straight Copa Americas in a row, they went to the final because of Messi and obviously Di Maria. But now they're winning the World Cup because of other players. They're winning the Copa America because of other players. Like the stat was, Messi has not scored or assisted in a Copa America final. He's been in 5 of them. He's won 2. So the first one he won, he had this pretty much the exact same team he has now. And then in this one, they won. He didn't contribute anything. I know you understand he got injured, but he didn't do anything the entire tournament. He created this team, and now this team
is becoming itself.
It's like that old meme where it's like the Ninja Turtles with the old master, and Messi's the master that trained and taught all of them, and now they're keeping him. Like they said, they're Messi's bodyguard. Like they developed him under Messi, and now they're showing Messi, we can do this without you. Thank you for everything you've done.
I agree.
I didn't realize how deep Argentina was until last night.
Yeah.
They are good. But I also think Messi and Di Maria, they're part of the reason of that, just because those guys grew up watching them and inspired them and stuff, so they had a huge impact on why Argentina.
Well, it's like you got to think Messi and Di Maria. Who are the 2 easiest replacements? You put Julian Alvarez there, and then you put Alejandro Garnacho on the other side. Like, and both of them are 22. Garnacho's 19. I think Alvarez is 23, 24. So it's like they're set up for years to come. Enzo Fernandez is young in the midfield.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, Lisandro Martinez, Christian Romero, McAllister.
Young,
I mean, their outside backs are okay. Like Tagliafico's getting up there in age, but Emi Martinez is still really like this team. This team is still going to be good for a while.
Molina.
Yeah, he's an outside back.
Something like that.
Dude, Emi Martinez is only 31.
Yeah, but as a goalkeeper, that's fine. But as a goalkeeper, he could probably still play in 2 more World Cups if he wants to. So, but Argentina is set up for the future because of the Messi and the Di Maria effect, and now they don't need him. If he wants to play in 2026,
he definitely could.
He can, but I don't think if he plays or not plays, it changes the betting odds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Colombia's James Rodriguez had a record-breaking tournament and won the Golden Ball. Do you think he deserves it?
Absolutely.
I think
over anybody else?
I think 100% he deserves it, because if Lautaro Martinez started every single game, I think he then has a chance.
Yeah.
But to give the Golden Ball to somebody that comes in after the 70th minute or extra time to then score a goal, it's hard to give him that trophy. When you have the one goal that he did and then the 6 assists, like, the offense was produced from James' set pieces, or you even look the chance that hit the post. James, beautiful ball dinked into the outside back, who then headed it back inside, and then it was a shot on goal. Like, their entire team, the ball goes to him, he can then figure out how everybody else needs the ball, and then if not, they don't have the offense that they want in that tournament. So I think it was without a doubt deserving.
Yeah, you got to give it to James. Like 6 assists, record setting, 20 chances created, the most at the tournament. So like, he just did everything. He was the heart of Colombia, and he was the heart of like that final run. Wish we saw more of him in that final, but
You said on the last episode too, he had a goal and 6 assists. That's 7 goal contributions on the 12 total goals of the tournament. That's crazy.
And then I think, what did Luis Diaz have? 2 goals? 3 goals?
yeah, 2.
I know he had a great one where he chipped the goalkeeper in that Panama game. I think he had 2 against Panama.
Yeah, PK as well.
Maybe
Those were his own
and then
goals.
maybe he scored earlier. I don't know, but
Argentina's Lautaro Martinez won the Golden Boot for most goals. We had 5, including 3 off the bench. Argentina's goalkeeper, how do you say his name?
Emiliano
Martinez.
You call him Dibu.
No thanks.
Call him.
Anyways, Argentina's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez won the best goalkeeper of the tournament, allowing just 1 goal across 6 games played. We also saw Uruguay defeat Canada in the 3rd place game on Saturday after penalty kicks.
Unreal game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Canada looked like they have won the game until Uruguay legend Luis Suarez forced the game to penalties with the game-time goal in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Suarez also scored the game-winning penalty right before Canada's Afonso Davies ended it with a miss off the crossbar. Suarez became the oldest goal scorer in Copa America history at 37 years and 5 months old. We now know that the finalissima between the Copa America and Euro winners will be played next summer in 2025 between Argentina and Spain. Any thoughts on an amazing summer of soccer?
I think the European championships were 10 times better than the Copa America, because the fields were an issue apparently in the United States. VAR was an issue apparently in the United States. Security was an issue apparently in the United States. Referees were an issue in the United States. And it's like, these countries, their life is soccer. And it's like, if you're the United States, we can't host these tournaments unless we're truly invested all in here.
Right.
You know, especially we have the World Cup in 2 years. We need to be truly invested. They need to look at Copa America and be like, we didn't get this 100% correct. And I know you said the CONMEBOL was a lot involved in this, but it's still the United States' facilities, right? They're required for setting up the fields and everything like that.
They just were
They were not good. And it's the fact that even Copa America can't have automated VAR already. That's a different issue, but it's just the United States wants to be looked at in the soccer world. You have to do it with hosting tournaments. Germany did an exceptional job hosting this tournament. It's a much smaller country, and they had no issues with it. So I just hope when the World Cup comes around that they're ready and they're 100% invested, because even if we don't play well, if we host a bad World Cup, it's a mockery of the country that, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I haven't really,
joke than
Yeah.
they already are.
I haven't really heard of any like other like countries hosting like major tournaments having this type of issue either.
No.
I think the closest I can think of is Qatar, when they just didn't allow people to drink. You know,
But it's just the access we have, the money that we have in this country, the facilities that we have in this country. It's there should not be these issues.
I agree. The Euros looked way better, and also the fact that there was no extra time.
It was a joke.
too.
I think to sum it up perfectly was when we went back to that Uruguay USA game, and the first 25 minutes, the camera was like from a
Oh my
top of a
God.
balloon.
Satellite.
How can this happen?
USS.
How can that happen? And then the entire game was just in shambles. No automated VAR. Disagree, agree, he was off, whatever. The referee was still horrible in that game, and he's reffing a major game that decides if the U.S. goes in, if Uruguay gets the number 1 seed. So it's like, it just needs to be better. In Europe, flawless. Well, obviously, every referee is going to have their issues, but the Euro Championships were 1,000 times better in terms of all the logistics, like we just talked about, than the Copa America.
Wait, what do you got winning?
The Finalissima?
Argentina
I have
or
Spain.
I have Spain.
I'll take Spain.
I have Spain as well.
I feel like
I think I'll take
this will-
Spain as well.
This will end Argentina's run of 4 straight major champions or 4 straight trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Messi's
5.
Well, they
No,
had
because
The
Messi
two Copas, the Finalissima and the World Cup.
4.
But if this,
It will
Yeah.
so this would be for 5.
No, this would be for 4. No, it'd be for
Copa,
5. Sorry,
two
yeah.
Copas, Finalissima, World Cup.
and then next year's Finalissima would make 5. In 4
Perfect
years.
timing.
So tomorrow, being Tuesday, is the 2024 MLB All-Star Game, which is being held in Arlington, Texas, at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. Tonight, being Monday night, is the Home Run Derby. So we gave our picks for that last weekend, or last episode. So Pat is actually choosing either Adolis Garcia or Pete Alonso. He said mostly Pete because he's a tryhard at these things.
I called dibs on Adolis.
Yep. So a reminder: Lewis took Adolis, and Zach and I both chose Jose Ramirez.
And I'm in for Pat because he just left. He's leaving for a little vacation trip to Nashville.
Back to the All-Star Game. Here's the starting lineups after injuries and things that have moved around. So in the American League, batting is this like batting order?
Official.
Okay. So batting leading off is Stephen Kwan of the Cleveland Guardians. Number 2, Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Batting 3rd, Juan Soto of the Yankees. 4th, Aaron Judge of the Yankees. 5, DH, Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros. At 6, we have Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. At 7, we have Vladdy Daddy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from Toronto. At 8, we have Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles. At 9, we have Marcus Semien for the Texas Rangers. And starting is Corbin Burns of the Baltimore Orioles. Manager is Bruce Bochy of the Texas Rangers. Now, the National League. Leading off, we have Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Shohei Ohtani of the LA Dodgers. Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. At 5, we have William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers. Also of the Milwaukee Brewers at 6 is Christian Yelich. At 7, we have Alec Boehm of the Philadelphia Phillies. 8 is Teoscar Hernandez of the LA Dodgers. 9 is Jurickson Profar from the San Diego Padres. And starting, the rookie sensation, Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Manager is Torey Lovello of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Hey, D-bags, baby.
The American League is the current favorite at a -170, while the National League is a +100. The over-under is currently set for 7.5 runs. Who do you guys like in this game, and why?
Who do you want to start, or should I have it?
I'm just gonna say my pick real quick. I'm gonna go with the National League. I feel like sometimes in All-Star games you have one league that's overpowering the other just on paper, but I feel like at a +100, I feel like the National League is a good lock.
I'm going to disagree and take what he just said and say it. I think the AL lineup completely overpowers the NL. No Freddie Freeman in the starting lineup. No Mookie Betts in the starting lineup.
Yeah, we got rookie sensation Paul Skeens.
The AL has 2, 3, 4 of Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge, who have almost a combined probably 75 to 80 home runs already this season, if not more. That is absolutely unbelievable, and that's not even scratching the surface because then you have Yordan, Jose Ramirez, and Vladdy right after that at 5, 6, 7. I mean, that is unbelievable. So I'm going to go with the American League at -120. I also see this game going over 7.5 runs. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, despite the pitching talent, there's
so much batting.
too many
talent.
bats.
Yeah, I agree with you though. American League. I was
I just
like, yeah,
I just have a
sounds
feeling.
good.
I just have a feeling Vegas knows something we don't, and that's what they always
But just
do.
National League is so depleted. You have Mookie Betts out, Freddie Freeman out, also Ronald Acuna Jr. out.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those are all
In
big.
the American League, you just have Correa, who has plantar fasciitis.
Right.
I
But
feel like that's
so Jose Altuve got subbed in for Marcus Simeon as well, but
yeah, and Devers
vice
is-
versa.
and
Marcus
Devers-
Simeon came in for Altuve,
and
and
Devers,
then
is-
Devers was a reserve,
yeah, that's
and then Correa I think was also a reserve.
Yeah.
Because Gunnar was always the starter.
Yeah.
But-
Well, since you guys know more about baseball and stuff, let me ask you this then, like from a betting standpoint. What is one play you guys like in this game, whether like money line, total, or just like give me like a player prop?
with how well Paul Skeens has been all year, plus 2Ks for him. I feel like he's just been so dominant that he's just going to go out there. And
See, like I
so
just
proven.
heard what Zach was saying though about this lineup, and like
I know.
that's
Yeah.
a tough ask,
But
especially in the
Paul
All-Star game.
Skeens has been so dominant, and he
Agreed.
has
But
two
who's
no
never
hitters
seen a
in
lineup
7
like
innings.
this?
But you're not throwing 7 innings in the All-Star game. He's throwing 1, maybe
Right.
2 innings at most,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be the bullpen. My best bet, I actually have a couple. I love the American League's game money line. I also love their team total alternate 4.5 runs. If you hit the over on that, it's plus 155. Just for them to get 5 runs
For
like
the
for-
AL.
for the AL.
I like that.
All-Star
I
team
like
to get
that.
5 runs. Come on. I also like for there to be a run in the first inning. You can get that at plus 110. So either team to score in the first inning. And my final one is going to be, give me 1 second.
I think we're just listening to Zach's 3-pick parlay
For-
Washington Wagers.
You're not, because you can't same game parlay these, unfortunately. But Marcelo Zuna, anytime to get a base hit, plus 120.
Wow,
So he's been raking all year.
Yeah.
I'm really confident in
Yeah.
him.
seems like a lot of free money going around tonight. So
Tomorrow.
tomorrow night. My apologies.
One final question about the game. Who is going home with the MVP? Aaron Judge is the current favorite at plus 800, while Ohtani, Juan Soto, Gunnar Henderson, and Bryce Harper are all right behind him. I'll go first with mine. I know it's funny because I just contradicted myself because I said that the AL was going to win, but I took someone from the NL.
Okay, guy, dude.
I realize this now.
Bobby's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Clearly not, but I took Ellie De La Cruz at plus 2
Ooh.
at 2,500.
That's a solid pick.
LA.
Who we got? Anybody?
For my pick,
Yeah.
fuck it. We're riding with Judge.
Okay.
I'm riding with Judge.
All right.
You know?
So I like Ozuna as well. I mean, I feel like he's a guy that'll try and go hard in this game. He's a plus 1,300 right now. Another like sleeper pick. That is for the NL, and I like the AL. So I'll give you an AL pick that's going to be coming off the bench. Guy that I don't like at all.
Josh Naylor.
But I think he
Really?
can bring a bat off the bench. I think Josh Naylor could win this at plus 4,500 odds. Dude is
That's
a
absurd.
hefty lefty. He could come in and hit a home run, RBI double, like
Yeah.
you name it. He could potentially do that. So, yeah. those
I
are my
like
picks.
that. Yeah,
Wow.
that's
I like
pretty
that.
nice. All right, so now it's Lewis's favorite segment here: random news of sports that happened over the weekend. But we'll start with football. First, we'd like to give a moment of silence for Baltimore Ravens wide receiver and kick returner Jacoby Jones, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 40.
That's honestly crazy, yeah.
Jones was the Super Bowl 47 champion in 2012 with the Baltimore Ravens. He infamously started the second half with a 108-yard kick return for a touchdown, the longest play in Super Bowl history. Also had a 56-yard touchdown catch in the second quarter. First player in the Super Bowl history with a return touchdown and a receiving touchdown in the same game.
And somehow didn't get Super Bowl MVP. They gave it to Flacco.
Yeah. In addition, Jones had a 70-yard touchdown catch from Joe Flacco with 31 seconds left in the divisional round versus the Denver Broncos to tie the game and save their season as the Ravens won that game in double overtime. The play is known as the Mile High Miracle. He played 9 seasons for 4 different teams, being the Ravens, Steelers, Texans, and Chargers, He was an All-Pro and Pro Bowl as a return man in 2012. He had 9 career return touchdowns. Family said he had died peacefully at his home in New Orleans. He turned 40 on July 11th.
Like, I don't know how we don't know how he passed yet, but that's just like one of terrible loss.
Yeah.
That guy created so many memories. So.
Yeah, was that the game where
The lights went out.
Yep.
Super Bowl,
It's
the
the
Harbaugh
49ers.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like a 35-minute halftime because the lights went out after the halftime show, and then he opened up the second half with the kickoff return. It was electric.
Former Detroit Lions legendary wide receiver Calvin Johnson is being inducted into the franchise's Pride of the Lions. Pride of the Lions honors the Lions' best player in history of the franchise at Ford Field. He will be their 21st inductee. The 38-year-old Hall of Fame will be honored at halftime on Monday Night Football on September 30th in the game between the Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. A step to repair the team's relationship with Calvin. Previously asked him to repay $1.6 million of a signing bonus of a prior contract.
Imagine asking your best player ever to give back money you gave him.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, yo, you gave me this money.
Yeah.
Was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. Holds the Lions franchise record with 731 receptions on 11,619 yards and 83 touchdowns. 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro. Played only 9 seasons.
Imagine if he was still playing, bro.
Yeah.
He would still be one of the best.
No, I agree. Holds the NFL single-season receiving yards record with 1,964, and that was in 2012. Tyreek Hill is also now in the news once again for off-the-field actions. A Florida judge has ruled the Miami Dolphins star wide receiver is the father of another child being a baby girl. Hill is reportedly now has over 12 children, and that will be his 5th this year. Hill announced his wife is expecting just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so he had this one with a different girl.
He's had 5 different baby mamas in the last year.
That's literally wild.
Speaking of that, yeah, like I just said, 5 different baby mamas. Speaking of off-the-field issues and drinking now, Jordan Addison of the Minnesota Vikings was arrested over the weekend for suspicion of DUI. Arrested near the LA International Airport, his Rolls-Royce was blocking an entry lane to the highway, and Addison was asleep in the driver's seat.
Nice.
No charges have been announced, and an investigation is underway.
Yeah.
That's insane. Former defensive coordinator Monty Kiffin, father of Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin, has passed away at the age of 84. 84. Spent over 50 years coaching in the NFL and college. Spent 13 seasons as a defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He worked with head coach Tony Dungy, God, I hate that man, and created the Tampa 2 defense, which helped them win the Super Bowl in 2002 and is still used today. Tampa's defense allowed the fewest points per game and second fewest yards per game while under Kiffin. He became the first and only assistant coach to be inducted into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor, and that was 3 years ago.
Well, congrats to him.
Yeah, but rest in peace, he's
All
dead. Oh, God.
Well, anyways, let's move on. The MLB draft was Sunday,
Yes.
boys. The Cleveland Guardians had the first pick in the draft. They selected Travis Bazzana out of Oregon State. He was the first, actually, second baseman ever. Don't like it. The first second baseman ever to go number 1 in the draft.
It's wild.
That's actually a crazy
So he hit
stat.
like 27 home runs or something. And he's actually the second number 1 overall pick in the last 6 years for Oregon State, joining
Adley Rutschman.
Adley Rutschman. Very good, Bill.
Ding, ding, ding. 2024 Golden Spikes winner, given to the best amateur player in the nation, Charlie Condon out of Georgia, was selected number 3 overall by the Colorado Rockies. He was an outfielder / third baseman. He led Division I with 37 home runs and batted a .433.
Yeah.
I think the Rockies need him right now.
Yeah. Wake Forest had 3 different players selected in the top 10. First school with 3 players drafted in the top 10 since Rice in 2004.
I mean,
That's crazy. I didn't know that. With the 15th pick, the Seattle Mariners took ambidextrous pitcher Gerangelo Cinchet, first switch pitcher taken in the first round in MLB history. 21-year-old was born in the Netherlands, went 8-2 with a 3.67 ERA for Mississippi State this past season. MLB rules say pitchers must identify what hand they will throw with at the start of each batter and cannot change until the batter is retired or reaches base.
Dude, imagine, like, I want to watch that.
Yeah.
I want to watch him in MLB.
Left this time.
And then he just, he has the same glove, too.
Yeah.
It just
So
takes
I saw the video, and
He
he's
just
like warming up, and then he just flips, and then he throws with the other hand. It's fucking sick. And he throws like mid 90s, upper 90s with both hands.
Yeah. I also to
That's
add on to
wild.
the MLB draft too. The Red Sox guy they took him at I believe 14 or I believe it was 14.
Yeah.
He was actually projected to go like number 4 to Oakland,
wow.
but then he got hurt, so then he dropped, and the Red Sox snagged him.
Nice.
So huge pickup. for them.
Where did I don't know what his name was, but he played for Florida. He was batting like 455.
6, I think. It was like some Italian.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like definitely an Italian name. He was he hit bombs, dude.
Yeah. And he was a pitcher, too, right?
No, I think he was an infielder.
No, I think he played both.
Did he?
He hit and
He
bat.
batted 419 with 35 bombs. Jack Cullen, yeah,
Colangelo?
yeah.
Where'd he go?
Into the Royals.
6 to the Royals. The Red Sox guy, they drafted him at 12. But he batted 322 with 27 homers before getting hurt.
Any All Stars next season on this draft?
Could be. I mean, I'd like to see some of those guys in the league right now.
Speaking about people who were just drafted
Yeah.
and then made the All Star game, like you mentioned earlier, Paul Skeens, he tossed 7 no-hit innings with 11 Ks last week. He became the first rookie since the mound was set at its current distance in 1893 with multiple games of 6 hitless innings and 10-plus Ks. He has also been named the NL All-Star Game starter, the 22-year-old right-hander and 2023 number 1 overall pick has just started just 11 games this year for the Pirates. He's 6-0 with a 1.9 ERA.
Ridiculous.
He has the most strikeouts, 89 with a sub-2 ERA through 11 starts since ERA became an official statistic in 1913. What happened in 1912?
No. Somebody must have thrown more than 89 strikeouts with a sub-2.0 ERA in their first 11 starts. So
He's just the 5th rookie pitcher to start the All-Star game and the first in nearly 30 years. First Pirates pitcher to start Midsummer Classic since 1975. He's now a -600 to win NL Rookie of the Year and is also plus 650 to win the NL Cy Young Award.
Wow. That's great.
So that's good odds.
yeah, plus 650.
Corbin Burns of the Baltimore Orioles has been named the American League starting pitcher. The 29-year-old is 9-4 with a 2.93 ERA this season. His 4th straight All-Star appearance for Burns and 5th Orioles pitcher to start an All-Star game. We also talked about another rookie sensation who made his debut last week, Rhys Hines of the Cincinnati Reds. He had his first career Grand Slam over the weekend against the Miami Marlins. Against the Marlins. Big one,
I mean,
but
home run in his debut, another the night later,
Yeah.
and then a grand slam the same week.
Yep. like you said, he also had 2 home runs on Saturdays, 10-6 win. He now has 5 home runs and 11 RBIs while batting .423 in 7 games since being called up for the Reds. And the Reds are now 5-2 and have scored 50 runs since his debut last week.
7 games, 50 runs scored, and he's got 5 homers and is batting .423.
That's like averaging 7.
I saw a stat before. It wasn't even 7 games. It was 6 games, and he had 5 homers.
Yeah, well, yesterday
So-
he went 0 for 4.
Yeah.
So good point, though. Let's stick with some news in baseball. Phillies pitcher Christopher Sanchez is also an all-star. He replaces Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves, who is injured. The Phillies now have 8 all-stars, which is the most in the league, and 5 of them are pitchers, which is an MLB record. The 27-year-old Sanchez is 7-4, 2.96 ERA. It's his first all-star appearance. Other Phillies rotation pitchers, Ranger Suarez and Zach Wheeler, were also named all-stars, but won't pitch. Neither of them will due to back spasms. Texas Rangers shortstop Corey Seager is also now on the AL roster. He replaces Carlos Correa, who you just mentioned, of the Minnesota Twins. The 2-time World Series MVP Seager is going to his 5th All-Star game, hitting .270 with 18 homers, 49 RBIs this year. Correa has plantar fasciitis in his foot. Also sitting out the All-Star game, San Diego Padres second baseman Luis Arraez has a thumb injury and has made 3 straight All-Star games. He's batting .310 this year, so it sucks we won't be able to see him. Another injury for the banged-up NL.
Yeah.
Oakland Athletics somehow are in the news for doing something good over the weekend. They beat the Phillies 18-3 on Sunday, which, wow. And they hit 8 home runs in that game. I think they had 3 players who had multi-home run games. They had the most home runs in a game by a single team since 1999.
I did see something earlier too. It was I want to say it was teams that have scored over 16 runs this year, or it was either 16 or 18 runs this year.
18.
Yeah, and it was
Orioles.
Or Oakland 2. Everybody else 0.
Yeah. And they're one of the worst teams in baseball.
Wow.
The benches cleared in Friday night's game between AL East rivals, the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. Yanks were up 4-1 in the bottom of the 9th, inserted closer Clay Holmes. He, unfortunately, threw a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. He said it was a sinker that he lost track of. Hit Heston Kjerstad of the Orioles in the helmet. Kjerstad was able to, luckily, get up and walk off on his own power, but he's now on the 7-day concussion IL. Both teams kind of cleared their benches. Bullpens came in, had some words. The Baltimore manager got ejected for actually coming over to the Yankees dugout. I guess they were taunting them and stuff like that, waving them on. So
I guess they were. What did I see? It was like the amount of times that the Yankees have hit Orioles players this year is like 13 times or something like that. Where like everybody else is like under like 8. Like where they
are in the AL East. They play the Orioles.
And the Yankees have the most hit by a pitch this season by like 20 hits.
I really don't give a fuck about that stat because the Orioles literally threw at Judge's hands the other night. So I could care less. Good for them. I actually hope they throw at them more because they need to show them who's boss in the AL East. I also love seeing benches clearing brawls. Who doesn't?
Especially in baseball, dude. Sometimes that shit gets boring.
Yeah.
Just being a sports fan, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Whenever the coach comes out of the dugout, everyone's like, "Yeah!"
Hell yeah! And they start screaming at you.
It was a bad weekend for the Los Angeles Dodgers. On Saturday, the Dodgers led 9-4 going into the 9th against the Detroit Tigers. A 5-run 9th inning by the Tigers tied the game. Gio Urshela, former Yankee, walked it off with a home run. With a home run in the 10th inning. On Sunday, the Dodgers blew a 9th inning lead. They were up 3-2, and the Tigers walked it off with a 4-3 win. So not a good time to be a Dodgers fan. You got Mookie Betts on the IL. You got Freddie Freeman banged up. You got a bunch of their pitchers are on the IL, so not a good time for them.
Can't close out games.
True. Speaking of the Yankees, their slugger Aaron Judge clubbed his 33rd and 34th home run in that series against the Orioles. He broke a franchise record for most home runs all time before the All-Star break with his 34. He passed Roger Maris, who hit 33 before the break in 1961 in his famous 61-61 season. Outfielder, I thought you guys would like this, Dane Myers of the Miami Marlins. He fractured his ankle over the weekend. He angrily kicked a dugout door in their 10-6 loss to the Reds on Saturday.
What are you doing?
He got ejected in the 8th after arguing a check swing call, and then went into the dugout, kicked the door, broke his foot. He's hitting .265 in 40 games this year.
As we have recently been aware of now, let's keep a tally. Doors and walls, 2.
Yeah.
MLB players, 0.
Toronto Blue Jays have placed veteran outfielder Kevin Kiermaier on waivers. The 4-time glove winner is 34 years old, still earning $10.5 million this year. He batted .191 this season with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs in 71 games. And the Blue Jays are 43-50, last place in the AL East. Also getting released, Phillies have let go of utility player Whit Merrifield. He's owed $3 million by the Phillies. 35-year-old played in 53 games this year, batting just .199 with 11 ribbies.
They're 0-3 without him.
Really?
I think
Wow.
so, yeah.
Milwaukee Brewers have designated left-handed pitcher
Still
Dallas
the
Keuchel
league?
for assignment. He got acquired from the Mariners for cash in June. He started 4 games for the Brewers, never made it past the 4th inning. He had a 5.4 ERA and allowed 10 runs in just 16 2/3 innings. Some other little news here. Boston Red Sox minor leaguer Charlie Zink has been suspended 56 games after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. So has Seattle Mariners minor leaguer Yuri Tatis. He was suspended 80 games for the same thing. Stay off the roids, fellas. And lastly, former big leaguer and 41-year-old Robbie Cano, don't you know, currently on a 30-game hitting streak in the Mexican League.
That's
Same
beautiful.
team as Trevor Bauer.
Attaboy, Robbie.
Let's go.
Attaboy.
Yes, same team as Trevor Bauer. That team's loaded. Now let's talk about some college football. Oregon Ducks transfer quarterback Dylan Gabriel is now the favorite to win the 2024 Heisman Award Trophy, which is he's at plus 750 odds, passing Georgia's quarterback Carson Beck plus 800 and Texas QB Quinn Ewers plus 900.
I think he's better than both of them.
Yeah, I do too. Gabriel started July at plus 1,000. He passed for 3,660 yards last year with 30 touchdowns at Oklahoma. Plus 750. At plus 750, Gabriel would have the longest odds entering the season of any Heisman favorite in the last 15 years.
Wow.
Georgia Bulldogs transfer running back Trevor Etienne had charges against him for a DUI dismissed last week. Younger brother of Jacksonville Jaguars running back Travis Etienne pleaded no guilty to reckless driving and underage possession of alcohol. Was arrested and charged with drunk driving in March. Unknown if he will miss the first game of the season. Georgia has a team policy where if an athlete is convicted of a DUI, they must serve a one-game suspension. He transferred from Florida, where he rushed for 1,472 yards and 14 touchdowns on 249 carries in 2 seasons. Oregon State and Washington State football programs, the only 2 remaining in the Pac-12 conference, have agreed to keep their Pac-12 bowl agreements. Despite the conference collapse, the Beavers and the Cougars will retain their postseason opportunities that run through 2025.
Good for them. And
Yeah,
that just
Does
means
that
that,
mean they just play each other?
no, it means that they're still eligible to play in a bowl game.
Yeah.
So
Now moving over to basketball in the NBA, New York Knicks All-NBA guard Jalen Brunson has accepted a 4-year, $156 million contract extension, $113 million less than he is eligible to sign a year from now.
that's crazy.
Does he think he's going to be ass?
No, he thinks he's-
So he thinks that in like 4 years from now, where he's going to build this team so well, where his next contract that he gets is going to be $80 million.
Yeah, he thinks he's still going to be the same as he is now, if not better, in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
5 years'
I
time.
would have just saved the year.
I know, but
Yeah.
risky.
He chose this instead of a 5-year, $269 million extension after next season. Gives the Knicks roster flexibility so they can now keep the team together and add more pieces. Also keeps the Knicks out of the second apron level of the salary cap, which limits trades and free agency signings. Will cost them about $37.1 million a year over the next 3 seasons.
Stupid.
Can sign a 4-year, $323 million max or 5-year, $418 million max in 2028 or 2029 to get back the $113 million that he's missing out. Reportedly studied stars like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Jeter, who all won MVPs but took pay cuts to result in championships. Averaged 28.7 points per game with 11 40-point games last season and becomes the first Knicks player with 40 points and 5 assists in 4 straight playoff games. Now, free agent guard Johnny Juzang has re-signed with the Utah Jazz on a 4-year, $12 million contract. The 23-year-old out of UCLA averaged 7.2 points per game and shot 41.6% from 3 in 20 games last year on a 2-way contract. Veteran point guard Kyle Lowry is re-signing with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 1-year deal. The 38-year-old returns to his hometown team with a loaded lineup for next season.
I mean, they are.
The 6-time All-Star averaged 8 points and 4.6 assists last season in 23 games.
Did you see that video? He was golfing, and somebody was like, "How do you feel about not getting invited to the Nova Knicks?" Because he went to Villanova, and the person was like, and he was like, "They didn't want me." Like, they don't even fucking like know you like that, you know.
Now, as I've been seeing on Twitter, a power forward a traditional power forward that we always miss is now returning to the NBA.
Bro,
Taj
what?
Gibson is returning to a 1-year, $3.3 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets. He's entering his 16th NBA season with 7 teams. The 39-year-old will be a mentor for their younger locker room. Free agent forward KJ Martin will be returning to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $16 million deal. The 23-year-old is entering his 5th season, played 58 games last season.
So he averaged 4 points a game.
Was getting paid
And he's getting $8 million a year.
That's insane.
Wild.
I could give you guys that buckets, man.
And I'll pass the rest.
Well, let's stick with hoops here. The Sacramento Kings first-round draft pick, Devin Carter, coming out of Providence, underwent surgery last week. He'll be out at least 6 months after undergoing shoulder surgery for a torn labrum. 22-year-old was picked 13th in this past draft and was the 2023-2024 Big East Player of the Year after averaging almost 19.7 points per game and 8.7 rebounds per game. Bad news to be a Nuggets fan. The first-round draft pick, Deron Holmes II, suffered a torn right Achilles tendon and is expected to miss the entirety of the 2024-2025 season. He's the number 22 pick overall of this past draft, coming out of Dayton.
Yeah,
So that's-
not a good time to be a Nuggets fan.
No. As we all know, the NBA in-season tournament, they have announced, actually known as the Emirates NBA Cup.
What is
That kinda
that
sounds-
better thing?
I mean, that kind of sounds better
They
than
just changed
fucking.
They just changed that?
Yeah, it's the in-season tournament.
It sounds
No,
way
the
better than
Emirates
NBA.
Cup.
Yeah, it sounds way better than the NBA in-season tournament.
Gives you like that soccer vibe too.
Yeah.
It does.
Group stage play begins on November 12th. The top team from each of the 6 groups, plus the best non-group winner from each conference, will advance to the quarterfinals. The Los Angeles Lakers, as we all know, won the inaugural version of the event last season. Good for them. I'm
And-
glad they raised that fucking banner.
Raise that banner, baby.
Thing is,
In about
they're
a few
not putting
months,
that in the
in
Raptors.
about
I think they already did.
They are.
Yeah, it was
about a few
meme.
months from now, we're gonna raise an actual real banner. So.
Let's go, baby. These are the
Let's-
groups.
Yeah, I was gonna go through the groups now. So East Group A. I'm gonna start with the East. Group A: Knicks, Magic, 76ers, Nets, Hornets. Group B: Bucks, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, Pistons. And Group C: Celtics, Bulls, Cavs, Hawks, Wizards.
I mean,
Such
the
a sorry group.
Celtics,
Are you
Celtics
kidding
don't
me?
fucking like wipe those fucks.
You're shit, such an easy group.
Right.
Knicks, Magic, 76ers though. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be a fun
And the
group.
Bucks, Pacers. Remember that in-season
Yeah.
bullshit last
Yeah.
year between them. So
And then throwing Jimmy Butler in there too. I have him stir up the pot a little
Yep.
bit more. Let's go on the West. West Group A: Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings, Rockets, Trailblazers. Group B: Suns, Lakers, Thunder, Spurs, Jazz. And Group C: Warriors, Mavs, Nuggets, Pelicans, and Grizzlies.
dude, that Group B is nice.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's gonna be
Suns,
fun.
Lakers, Thunder, Spurs. Whew.
I'll move on now from the NBA here. Let's go into the WNBA.
Put this in for you, bud.
Thank you. Angel Reese's historic double-double streak has finally fucking come to an end after a record-breaking 15 consecutive double-doubles
Patting.
of her stat padding, and she can't just make a layup. I don't understand it. I think she was just truly, yeah. Chicago Sky forward finished the game with 8 points and 16 16 boards off her own misses. In Saturday's 81-67 loss to the New York Liberty. She finished 3 of 13 shooting. So those 10 misses were all boards. Think about that, people. Think about it. She was 0 of 5 in the second half, so 5 more rebounds. She missed multiple layups in the fourth quarter and was triple teamed on the final possession.
You guys see that?
Thank you, New York
I
Liberty.
know, bro.
for
She
shutting
was,
her
she was
ass up.
crazy, bro. Because it's
It was crazy.
you're stat padding so hard. There's just literally under 15 seconds
Yeah.
left,
and you're down by
trying.
14.
And you're down double digits, and you're trying so goddamn hard to
Box
get
it
a
out.
bucket.
Oh, give me it.
Yeah,
Give me it.
it's
And she like
sorry.
sauntered off the court when and they didn't give her the ball to like hoist up a garbage.
Boo-hoo.
Also, no one's asking you to fly them out.
If you broke, say it. Just say that. If you broke, just say it.
Some news in soccer before we finish this up. Fresh off winning Euro 2024, as Pat mentioned earlier, Spain manager Luis de la Fuente reportedly interested in the U.S. men's national team head coaching job. Please help us. Please. The 63-year-old has never played or coached outside of Spain, so stepping out of his comfort zone. He's been with the Spanish Football Federation since 2013. He's been coaching through the ranks, U19, U21, U23, etc. Now with the first team. His representatives have emailed the U.S. Soccer Federation about the position.
I'm sorry, people still email about this stuff?
I guess. Someone who's not interested in the U.S. men's national team position
Made it clear.
Canada men's national team head coach Jesse Marsh. He said in a press conference ahead of their third-place game against Uruguay that he has no interest whatsoever in taking the job and never will until, quote, there is a big shift in the organization. He also said he could not be happier coaching with Canada. He said he was not treated well in a prior process with the U.S. men's national team when he first applied for the job a couple of years ago during the Berhalter fiasco. Wow. Another candidate for the position is LAFC head coach and former U.S. men's national team player Steve Cherundolo. Please, we're not doing this with the MLS guys again. Just give me some foreign guy who can fucking whip our guys into shape and give us a good style of play.
Not to just carry it on, but you gotta think about what are they gonna do? They're gonna have to, if they want a foreigner, I feel like they're gonna come in. They're gonna want so much money.
Yeah, and you gotta give that to the women.
Exactly.
Staying with soccer, Uruguay manager Marcelo Bielsa not happy with Copa America organizers after being eliminated in the semis. He slammed the U.S. in his post-game interview for its poor playing surfaces and facilities. He also criticized CONMEBOL for the poor organization of the tournament and lack of security and safety. Well done, Marcelo. I loved that interview. After a group stage exit at Copa America, Mexico is set to fire their manager, Jaime Lozano. He's reportedly going to be replaced by Javier Aguirre. Lozano reportedly turned down a chance to be an assistant under Aguirre, who previously coached the Mexican national team on 2 separate occasions. He currently coaches Mallorca in La Liga. Real Madrid and England star Jude Bellingham, Lewis's second favorite player, is reportedly the next cover athlete for the EA FC 25 video game.
He just had a stinker.
He won the UEFA Champions League and La Liga with Real Madrid, as well as La Liga's Player of the Season. And
when you want to add a trophy, you go to Real. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, yeah, because he ain't winning them with England, so he helped England reach the final, but they did lose yesterday. Man U have completed the transfer of Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee. Deal is worth $43 million, lasts through 2029. He scored 12 goals last season with Bologna at 23 years old. Alvaro Morata, who just won the Euro with Spain, is headed to AC Milan. The Spanish forward is leaving Atletico Madrid after a tough spell with them. He's going back to Italy. He played with Juventus a couple years ago with Ronaldo. Spain center back Robin Lenormand is heading to Atletico Madrid from Real Sociedad. And another note, Barcelona and manager Hansi Flick have made targeting Spanish winger Nico Williams their top priority for this summer. Premier League clubs are also interested.
Per reports, I guess they've already come to personal terms, with Nico about signing him. And plus, after watching Spain, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams on both those wings, man, that, and Lewandowski in the middle. Come on, man. We need that.
And last note for me, Angel Di Maria is not the only player retiring from international duty, unfortunately. Switzerland's Xherdan Shaqiri has announced he has retired from the Switzerland national team. Only player,
just great.
Only player to ever score at 3 World Cups and 3 Euros.
Wow,
Crazy.
great career.
Dude, he scored so many bangers.
Great international career, man.
Finish this up, Will?
Yeah. So let's finish up with some updates on golf and in the tennis world here. But let's start off with some golf. Sergio Garcia won his first career LIV golf title on Sunday. This past Sunday, he won the Andalusia title in Spain. He won a playoff hole after shooting a 5-under, 66 in the final round. Scotland's Robert McIntyre won the Scottish Open on Sunday. First Scot to win the Scottish Open in 25 years. 27-year-old made a 22-foot birdie putt on the final hole to win. That's having some cojones right there, man. We got some balls. Let's move over to tennis. The Wimbledon Men's Championship was on Sunday. It was number 3 Carlos Alcaraz of Spain at a -150 versus number 2 Novak Djokovic of Serbia at a +115. Alcaraz ended up winning in straight sets in the rematch of last year's 5-set final. It's the first Wimbledon final rematch since Djokovic versus Federer in 2014 and 2015. Alcaraz won a $2.94 million bag, a 15% increase from last year. Alcaraz is now back-to-back Wimbledon champion. The 21-year-old is now 4-0 in major finals, joins Boris Becker, Bjorn Borg as the only men in Open era since 1968 to win multiple Wimbledon titles before turning 22. That's insane. Second man in Open era to win his first 4 Grand Slam finals, joining none other than Roger Federer.
Yep.
Djokovic remains with 7 Wimbledon titles, one shy of Roger Federer's 8 for most all time. He has now made 10 Wimbledon finals total. Wow, that's crazy. Cheapest tickets there, reportedly $10,000. So you thought getting into the Copa America final was expensive? Imagine going to the Wimbledon final. That's insane. We'll switch over to the women's here. Their final was also was on Saturday. My apologies. Number 32 ranked Barbara Krejcikova of Czechia defeated number 7 in the world, Jasmine Paolini of Italy, in 3 sets. This is her second major title and first Wimbledon title of her career. 8th different woman to win Wimbledon since 2016. Has never been past the 4th round of Wimbledon ever. It's her 12th major title overall. She's won 10 majors in doubles previously. She also won a $2.94 million bag.
Lastly, the 2024 ESPY Awards, an annual show hosted by ESPN last week. So here's some notable winners. Best athlete in men's sports, Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Best athlete in women's sports, Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces.
Do you guys agree with that?
Who should have been?
Caitlin Clark?
She got like 3 other things on here, though.
Yeah.
She got best women's college
Best
athlete,
college.
best record-breaking performance for becoming the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
So she got her award, so.
I mean, like, all those awards add up to being the best woman in sports.
True.
I guess, yeah.
Where is it? It's not even on here.
Best championship performance, Jalen Brown.
Yeah, but I know that's not the one I was looking for. That's not the one I was looking for. But the best championship performance, Jalen Brown of the Boston Celtics with a 21.8 board 6 assist game, where Tatum actually had a better game.
I know.
But
I think if when they took that into consideration, I would feel like they would take the entire series because a lot of championships are one game and stuff. I feel like they took him being Finals MVP.
And don't forget about the award of going to the Pat Tillman Award, going to none other than Prince Harry Kane. Or Harry Kane. Prince Harry.
Oh my god.
But also,
I mean, what he's doing for that, like, I kind of like watched it a little bit. I kind of like agreed, like it's interesting. Like he's not really a sports icon, but what he's doing for like disabled veterans and having those games, it's actually like really cool and really interesting. To see.
But also the fact that Luka Doncic won NBA's best player.
Who do you think should win the?
Well, he didn't even win MVP, did he?
No.
So what are we doing?
Yeah.
He wasn't even MVP runner-up.
I think they're talking about just him bringing them to the finals.
I don't give a shit.
That's just you just got to see it.
And
how,
best
like,
UFC
fighters
on
O'Malley.
Sugar Sean when Alex Pereira headlined 2 of the biggest UFC events we've ever seen and won both titles
handily too.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
I do agree with you on that. That's nuts. To finish off the episode, we have washed up wagers. So here's the recap from last episode. Lewis is now in first place with a 6-3 record after going 2-1 last episode. His wins were Carlos Alcaraz beating
Daniil Medvedev.
Thank you. Daniil Medvedev in the Wimbledon semifinals last Friday, and for Spain to have over 1.5 goals in the Euro final versus England, and they won 2-1.
Dude, I call him.
I was sitting there like, bro, please don't give him this goal. Please don't give him this goal. And then they fucking got it.
His loss was for Colombia. His loss was for Colombia to win the Copa America 24, where they lost in extra time 1-0.
Thank you again, Bill.
You're welcome. I am now in second place with a 5-4 record after going 1-2 last episode. My only win was Novak Djokovic, who beating Lorenzo Musetti in the Wimbledon semifinals last Friday.
Minus 800 again?
750. My losses were Harry Kane to be an anytime goal scorer in the final and over 1.5 goals in the Argentina-Colombia Copa America final game where there was no goal scored in regulation.
Actually, yeah, no, you're
Surprising.
right. I mean,
Pat
sorry
is
for Harry Kane,
trying. Yeah. Again, subbed out that early. Pat is trying to make a comeback. He is 5-4 and is tied with me in second place after going 2-1 last episode. His wins were both teams score in the England versus Spain Euro final, which ended 2-1. 2-1 Spain, and over 8.5 total games in the first set of the Alcaraz-Medvedev Wimbledon semifinal, which ended up being 7-6. His loss was Luis Diaz to score an anytime goal in the Copa America final. Now, Zach is in last place with a 3-6 record. Hey, making it up a little bit.
2 games
After
back,
going,
that's it.
Yeah,
Take it.
after going 2-1 last episode, his wins were Carlos Alcaraz to have over 21.5 total games on one in the Wimbledon semifinal. He had 24. And for Argentina and Colombia to have a draw after regulation at the Copa America final, which was 0-0.
That was a snipe.
that
Yeah.
was.
His loss was England to win the Euro 2024 final, where they lost.
Today is Monday, July 15th, and here are our picks for this upcoming week. I have Ludwig Aberg to finish in the top 20 of the Open Championship at -125. I have Emmanuel Clase to record a strikeout in the All-Star game at -170. And I have Victor Hovland to finish in the top 20 as well at +130. Odds are +557, $10 to win you $65.75.
My picks for this weekend is Scotty Scheffler to finish top 10 in the Open Championship at a -165. I have the Seattle Storm money line versus the LA Sparks at a -425. And I have Paul Skeens having 2+ strikeouts in the MLB All-Star game at a +137. It is +366, $10 for $46.62.
For my 3 picks, I have 2 picks for the Open Championship in this. I have Rory finishing top 10 at a +100. I have Tom Kim to finish in the top 20 at a +170. And like I said earlier, I had the National League winning the All-Star game, so I put that in my parlay as well. It was actually at a +102, so that's +990. So we're going a little high today this week. In first place, we'll feel it out. But $10, you win 109.08.
All right, so I'm last place right now. I'm 3-6, but I'm only 2 games back. As Lewis likes to say,
A lot of ball.
lot of ball.
There's
all right?
never enough
A
ball.
lot of ball. So reminder, these are going to be our only picks for this week because we're not going to be having an episode this coming Friday because Lewis and Pat are both away.
Vacation from these goons.
Yep. My picks, okay? We're going to start it out tomorrow, Tuesday, with the Connecticut Sun +4.5 against the New York Liberty. Some
Okay.
WNBA action at -112. We're going to take the American League money line tomorrow night in the MLB All-Star game at -122. And to wrap it up, we have an international friendly in men's basketball, some Olympic tune-ups. We have Greece in a money line -375 to beat Puerto Rico. All total, those are +336, $10 wins you $43.62.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 25 of the Wash Up Sports Podcast. We release new episodes on YouTube and Spotify every Tuesday and Friday. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Our username for those can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay washed.